Again, looking at the Pleiades data set, but in this case we're going to be using the stellar types of our data in order to create subsets so we can plot the different types of stars in our figures. So we're going to go ahead and start again by opening our table, loading it into TOPCAT. Remember to pick the CSV format. Go ahead and open that. And then we want to click this icon here in order to, again, change the header information of our table, so TOPCAT will be able to recognize exactly what we're wanting to do. And we're also going to be changing the stellar type one to just be one word, like this. And then remember, we're wanting to plot Bmag minus Vmag, so we're going to create a new synthetic column, and we can name this maybe BVDiff. And then we see here we have our B magnitude column or V magnitude column. We want to subtract them, so we can type Bmag minus Vmag, and that's all we need for that. It creates our new column for us. And now we've caught up to what we were using before. And close that. Now we want to create some subsets. So if we again look at the table, we see that we have stellar types that are all strings, so they contain a letter and a number as well. But we want TOPCAT to be able to recognize those as something that's plottable. So what we can do is click this icon here, and we can start creating some subsets. So we want to gather all of the O stars, B stars, A stars, F stars, G stars, K stars, and M stars into their separate subsets. We're actually not going to be including the M star subset because there are no M stars in this data set. So we'll just do O through K. And to start, we click this green icon here, and we can name this O stars. And in order to tell TOPCAT how to recognize stars as being O-type stars, we can type stellar types or stellar type, which is the name of our column, dot contains, and then in parentheses we'll just type quote, an O, an end quote, and a parenthesis. So what this does is it tells TOPCAT to look at all of the items in the column, and if it contains an O, then it must be an O-type star. So we click OK. We see that TOPCAT has identified 2 of our stars as containing an O. We can go ahead and do this for the rest of these stars. I'll just type that one more time again, and then I'll copy and paste for time considerations. This time there are many more B stars than there were O stars. We'll do A here, and then F, and then G, and lastly K. There, like that. So now we have all of our different subsets for our different stars, which is great. We can close out of this. And then just as before, we're going to click this icon right here, which represents the plot creation. So we have now this window. And again, TOPCAT has selected some axes for us. We can change the Y to be B magnitude because we want B magnitude versus B minus V. And then remember that we want to flip our B magnitude axes, so we can go to axes here, go ahead and check mark Y flip, and it'll go from greatest to least now, or rather least lowest magnitude to highest magnitude, or in terms of brightness scale. And then we can change the labels as well, again just as before, make something a little nicer looking, B minus V, and then B, and do that, and change the font size to something a bit more legible, maybe 16 or 15, and then we should be set with that. So let's go ahead and click on our data and see if we can try to plot these subsets. In fact, there is a tab here called subsets that we're going to click on, and all of these subsets here are not checked, so let's go ahead and click down here so we can check them all. You can also click on the boxes and check them manually if you'd like. But as you can see, all of our different colors represent the different stars in our sample. O, B, A, F, G, K, and no M stars, of course. And then if you wanted to, you could change the label. So rather than having a 1:O stars, you can type O stars, press enter, and it'll change the legend here. If you wanted to do that for the rest of them, you could. I'll just do one more for completion, and that's that. So I won't waste much time fiddling with the rest of them. So say we want to choose different colors, or maybe all of these circles are a bit tricky to distinguish from each other and maybe want to choose different shapes. So we can click form over here and scroll down to subset. Let's work with let's say the B subset here. They're all green currently. But just again, as with the first tutorial, you learned that you can change the shape, size, and of course the color of these points. If you were looking at the subsets and wanted to change the color directly on here, you could as well. I find it's nicer to have all of the options here readily available to choose from and play around with. So we could do squares maybe, and then increase the size if we wanted to. We don't want something so dramatic that the plots overlap and I guess we break the system. So maybe something like 3 or 4. I would actually say 3 in this case is good enough. And then we can change the color if we want. If you remember, there are many different options for this. You could do black even. Black is an option. Maybe not so much with the gray, but again, you can choose something that you think is best representing your data and what best communicates what you want to tell people with your data. And then lastly, we can click on the legend here again and change the location if we want. We can change the legend to be internal rather than external, so it appears inside of the figure. And then if you want, you can change the title to be something like B magnitude versus B minus V according to stellar type. And if you wanted to add something about Pleiades, since these are Pleiades stars, you can too. And then press enter and the title will appear here, which is great. And then lastly, to save your figure, click this icon up here and name it something, I don't know, myplot2.png. I didn't emphasize enough last time that you should be naming this .png, and if you don't, make sure that you're clicking the correct file format here, otherwise TOPCAT will not do very well with understanding what you're trying to input into the file name. So click export plot, and it'll save to where you put it, and here we are. Okay.